Relations. Femi Akonde.
Now let's move to Rivers State, where the new caretaker chairpersons of Ikure local government area of Rivers State, Darlington Hoji, says he has been unable to assume office since inauguration on Wednesday. Mr. Hoji said the police prevented him from entering the local government secretariat. The police took over the secretariat of the 23 local government areas in the state after deadly clashes erupted on Tuesday in the wake of expiration of the 3-year tenure of the council's officials on Monday. According to Mr. Orji, the police barricades remains at the local government secretariats across the state even after Governor Simi Afubara swearing in of the new caretaker committees in Port Harcourt, the state capital. In a quick twist against the Court of Appeal in Abuja reserved judgment in the appeal filed by former Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Mahuele, and the 24 others against the Speaker, Victor Oko Jumbo, and 5 others. Interesting conversations we'll be having. Rivers State have actually been on the radar, in the news, and the last 1 month on more. And joining us live in the studio to talk more on these and other happenings in Rivers State is a member representing Adiato North-East and North-South Federal Constituency of Imo State in the House of Representatives, Ikenga Ugochinyere. Thanks for joining us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I think these conversations cannot be overemphasized. We look at what is happening in Rivers State. Let's begin with what the APC man said. Okay, Felix Moka, what do you mean when when he said that the PDP chided for alleging that the APC was plotting to forcibly take over from Rivers State government? What's your opinion about that? Let me first start from there.
It's very simple. Not just take, overthrow, capture, destroy, hijack, whatever it is. They use kind words in describing what they want to do. This thing is very simple. You belong to People's Democratic Party for whatever political purpose, and we should be bold. And one thing I don't like in political conversation is people don't want to look at things and say it the way it is. This problem is very simple. The FCT minister helped Fubara to be elected as governor. That is allowed in democracy. And he said that he was not doing it for anything personal. But if it turns out that you did it for personal reason, for which purpose of hijacking power and continue third term in office, then that is illegal and not part of democracy. They have a governor that have decided to run by his oath of office. And then you don't like the way he's running government, and then you want to remove him instead of waiting for next election to produce a new candidate. That is the foundation of this fight. And then he wants to let everybody know he has the entire House of Assembly at his beck and call. And then the House of Assembly started all those crises. Look at the kind of things they did. Remember, there was a time they made the law that you cannot use a primary school venue for campaign. Suddenly they changed that law that you can use it. They changed a law on procurement. When they were in office, they were funding contracts almost 70%. You now change the law to say contractors cannot be funded up to 10-20% just to frustrate governance in that state. He didn't stop at that. He went as far as changing the local government law to the extent that the House of Assembly will appoint members of local government commissioners where them in. You went as far as elongating the tenure of local government because you feel, if this local government chairman finish their tenure and go, the FCT minister will not have local government full soldiers again. So therefore, in order to keep them in office, we now say they can stay in office forever. So a lot of funny things that is unknown to democracy started happening, and those House of Assembly people were the ones doing it. And again, there's a clear issue of, at the time they left the party, you are aware, there was no division in our political party. They left. And then they swore to an oath at the Federal High Court that they left because they say PDP is trying to merge. Trying to merge, I don't understand what that language means. But they left. And then swore to affidavit by December 11, 2023 that they have left. The same people are turning back again to say, we have not left, because they have realized that they have goofed and made a very big mistake. Now they are looking for legitimacy at all costs. Legitimacy is for what? So you can go and attempt to remove the governor. Now that is the cause of this commotion, and they moved them to APC, thinking that by going to APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu will give you people backing to ride into rivers with double barrel from two ends and take over the state at all costs. So these things were uncalled for. There's even nothing they are fighting for. There is nothing that they are fighting for. You have decamped, your seats have been declared vacant. If you are strong, recontest the election and be elected. And now this thing is bastardizing. The danger in all these things The losers in all this thing is the integrity of our judiciary. Because you see them going, obtaining all sorts of expert applications from different court, left, right, and center. It's debasing the judiciary because somebody somewhere is trying to now use the judiciary as a way to hang on to power instead of following the democratic process. So this whole thing is a threat to our democracy and it's very bad. And I think stakeholders need to step forward to say, hey, enough. It's not because it's about Fubara and the right thing must be done on this matter.
You know, so I wanted to also let us look at, if you look at what's happening in River State, you as a parliamentarian, look at what the River State House of Assembly, of course, has done. Some have also been calling for the National Assembly to also intervene into this matter, to look at how they can be able to resolve it. Do you think that, this matter should have been resolved? Or how do you think we can resolve it? First, you as a lawyer, how do you think we need to approach that? You talked about the judiciary. Secondly, as a parliamentarian, how do you think all of these things need to be nipped in the bud?
When you talk about resolution, if somebody is asking you for your wife for a night, I wonder how you intend to resolve it, because there is nothing to resolve here. They need to respect boundaries. They need to respect rule of law. In the first place, nobody forced you to leave the People's Democratic Party. You left it for whatever political reasons you wanted to achieve, and you realize that the Constitution is very clear. There's nothing the National Assembly can do here, because the National Assembly made that law, that section 160 or thereabout, on the issue of cross-carpeting. And this law is for a purpose, it's for deepening democracy. People cannot just go and elect people and know for no just reason you keep junketing. They should have had a reason for doing this. So you moved. You should be proud of wherever you go. Stay there and then recontest the election if you want to. So there's nothing to resolve here. They have gone to All Progressive Congress, and the law is very clear. And their seats have been declared vacant when Eddie Sinehi was the speaker. That vote and proceeding is a legitimate instrument of Parliament. It's the working document of the Parliament. And the court have also declared positively on that document that this seat stands declared vacant. So whatever they are running up and down doing is just to debase the judiciary. And I will advise the Federal High Court and the Appeal Court, for the interest of our democracy, the way Nigerians are seeing judiciary, with all due respect, is not the best. And the country is at the verge of crisis. There's economic crisis. There is loss of confidence in the political leaders and the political process. Everything is turning, backwards. And then judiciary is now being put in a position where some people want them to be seen to have been taken over or bought over or doing things that is illegal. So because what are you trying to affirm? On one hand, you have sworn to an affidavit that you have left as of December 11, 2023. You want judiciary to now say the government is now legitimate and people can junket left, right, and center. No reasonable judiciary will do that. And because you want to get at Fubara at all costs, why are you looking? After all, they were the people who all supported them. So what is the problem? They had 80%. And my brother, let me say, because when you say resolution, I will say, what did they have before and what are they losing now? Let us start from the beginning. You are fully aware that they were the one that proudly said on TV here that they bought form for everybody that sought for political office in River State. Remember, so they produced the entire House of Assembly, they produced the entire House of Rep, they produced the senators, they produced the governors, they produced the local government chairmen, they produced all the commissioners, they produced a chairman of board, they produced chief of staff, they produced everything in that state. They awarded almost most of the contract before they left office. So if somebody had all these things, so the question is asked, what is it that Fubara did not do that led to this crisis? To me, it can only be somebody who is overbearing, or autocratic, or even greedy. Because if you have all the commissioners, you had all the House of Assembly members, you had all the House of Rep, you had all the governors, you bought form for all of them, you funded them, you did them. So now that you had control of the state 90%, what could have led you to having crisis? So there's nothing to reconcile here, because possibly somebody wanted to continue to have a third term in office, and that is unknown to democrats. And I think Rivers is too big for Rivers to be pocketed. Odili have ruled that state, respected himself as an elder statesman, despite all people did to him. He went home and allowed transition to continue. Omeha, the same thing. Rotimi Amechi, the same thing. So I don't understand why this should be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue, because the key actors in this is not their father that founded democracy. So
I think that when you say that all the governors in River State have ruled and left the place with peace, if you remember, Governor Odili also had his own battle. Remember, Rotimi Amechi also had his own battle. So I think it's something that is synonymous to River State. But let me just, there's a statement that you put out yesterday, which of course has to do with the River State Reps Caucus. where you disown Honorable Dum Duko over attacks on G60, of course, on your person, saying that Rivers Politics Caucus is proud of you. But this is where I'm going. You said that the Rivers State Caucus at the House of Assembly read with dismay in a statement purportedly issued by the member representing Gukana Federal Constituency, Honorable Duko, calling for the discipline of the coordinator of the G60 lawmakers at the Green Chamber, which is the person of you. While we won't stand against the popular phrase, everybody is entitled to his opinion, we refuse to collectively accede to the honorable self-serving stance, as he has never been elected by Rivers State Caucus to speak on behalf. What is exactly the grievances?
I don't know, because first of all, like I said yesterday, I do not want to dignify some people with a reply, because it looks like everybody now that wants to prove to the FCC minister that is working one. So
if you say you don't want to prove to people,
but let me land.
But this is a statement that was out yesterday.
Yes, let me now land. What led to that statement is that one of the factions issued a statement attacking me. But the matter had been handled in the sense that the chairman of the Rivers State House of Rep Caucus, Honorable Abiante, issued a statement clearly that he's the chairman of the caucus, and they disowned the person that issued the other statement, and that they didn't know him, and that they have confidence and have appreciated my many years of battle in defense of democracy. So that statement was clearly put out yesterday by the Abiante Group. And the Abiante Group have great lawmakers like Boma, Goodhead has Honorable Anderson, has Honorable Monachi, has Honorable Merengwans. These are House of Representative members. So they have expressed and passed confidence vote on me and informed me that Rivers people and all of us of democracy are pleased with what I'm doing. So because of that, I will not want to dignify the attack with any reply, because the caucus of Rivers State in their statement and communication to me has informed me that they are the right people and they have confidence in me. But the point is that you say a lawmaker that have constitutional right to make law for every part of the country cannot commence on a political development that has great impact on democracy in the country. What kind of teaching is that? There's no law limiting me on what I should talk about. So what should I be talking about? Those that are talking about issues on your TV, are they from those locations? So I can't talk about insecurity in Zamfara, I can't talk about economic issues and so on and so forth. There is no provision for that in any known law. So saying that because I'm not, most people from Idata, we have almost over 50,000 Idata people living in Rivers. So why can you say I should not talk about even those areas that represent and have strong Idata traders and businessmen of high repute? So you can't stop me from commenting on democratic issues or issues that have impact, of effect. But for instance, what they're doing in Rivers and what is happening in Kano has the capacity of reenacting what happened in the 60s and 1983 when federal police and federal judiciaries were used by those at the federal center to try to overrun people at the state capital. It led to heavy constitutional crisis that led to military coup and collapse of democracy. So as lovers of democracy and constitutional governance, we'll be warning and say, don't do that, because what you are doing has the capacity to inflame the country. There's hunger in the land. Any protest that breaks out from any of this region can lead to total collapse of governance. So I have a duty to advise, to say, don't go this path, because we want democracy to survive.
I also want us to look at, the issue of how, Governor Fubara says there's peace in Rivers State. You remember when this matter started? The first point of call was when Governor Fubara said he wanted to renovate the House of Assembly, and there was a destruction as at the time. When the impeachment resurfaced back again, he said the same thing. So can we literally say that there's actually peace in Rivers State? Because if you look at it, with all the killings and the maimings that are going on, one would say probably it's just a political statement from the governor of the state.
Well, the last time the lawmakers in the GCC and friends of the GCC went to Rivers, very peaceful. We didn't even go with security. Was very. What is happening is that some people are trying to create the impression out there that there's insecurity. There's no insecurity. There's no killing there. What happened is that what led to this latest tension was very simple. Your tenure have finished as a local government chairman. 3-year tenure. The man allowed them. Unlike when Wike was governor, immediately he came on board in 2015, he dissolved the elected local government chairman that was under Amaechi's government. But Fubara, despite the insult and the attack, allowed the constitutional timeline to play out. They finished their 3 years. He didn't, even when some of them were telling you, who born you well, I'll kill you, I'll bury you, the governor still allowed them to finish their 3-year tenure. Then at the midnight of your expiration, you now go to one 2-bedroom in Emo and come up with a law and say you have extended their tenure that they can remain in office. That's a constitutional coup. That's an act against democracy. It's not allowed in any decent society, because if you allow that to stand in Rivers, it means that the National Assembly can wake up one morning and extend the tenure of the president. The House of Assembly can also extend the tenure of a governor. And that was by a resolution. You now say these people cannot stay in office forever. There's no provision for that. So because they did that, the people of Rivers State trooped out on the morning of that expiration. Because they got information, they brought in magistrates, whether from neighboring states, to come and conduct a swearing in for these people that their tenure have expired. So the people kept vigilance and surrounded the local government headquarters and stopped that constitutional illegal act from happening. Is that what you call insecurity? They are the one that is looking for every opportunity to make Rivers look like that there is no security in Rivers, because they want to ensure the state is destabilized. Some of them also calling for asking for state of emergency. There is no need for that. That call is baseless. If there is a place that needs state of emergency, it's even Nigeria, not Rivers, because Rivers is peaceful.
Let me ask you on this last note, what are the available powers of the governor on the extension of the local government?
The right thing have been done. There's no power here. The most important is that they have used this crisis to derail the electoral process that would have been ongoing now, amending law, changing law, removing people, appointing people inside their 2-bedroom in Emoha, where they say they run the House of Assembly of those sacked 27 lawmakers. Now that has created a constitutional lacuna, and then they moved on to extend the tenure, and the people of Rivers stopped them by ensuring they did not swear in those former chairmen into office. Now that has created a lacuna, but the state ECEC has announced that they are going to conduct the election. In the next 2 weeks, the process for the election will start. So the governor is committed towards conducting the election. He's not interested in anybody's tenure extension. They have gone, they are gone, election will hold, and elected chairman will emerge. In short, he's hurrying to ensure that that process is done immediately.
So if we look at it in all of this, the people of Rivers State are the ones that's going to feel the brunt of, all of this. What should be the way forward? Because the people of Rivers State must actually experience the dividends of democracy. We can't have all this fight, and the people suffer. Because in all of this, the people are the ones who get the brunt of it.
Well, the political disagreement of this nature that has desperation have a way of distracting governance. But it's not distracting governance in Rivers. This is almost less than 6 months since he took over completely. They have been able to continue the Trans-Carabari Highway. They are running the Omok Road, they are running the Ring Road, they are doing the General Hospital in Obiakpa and so on and so forth. So governance is not being affected. In short, with the scorecard of 6 months, he has surpassed what was done in 2 years. But my advice is very simple, and my advice would be to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's always very simple, and that is, the people that are doing this is making it look like they are working for the president. They are just fighting for personal political survival. There is nothing in this for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So that's why
every politician fights for their political survival.
That's why I'm advising that he should call them, whether in Kano, whether in Rivers, that we are at a tipping point. There is serious insecurity in the land.
But there was a time the president called for a meeting,
and they breached it. So, and what I'm trying to say in the fact that if this thing goes out of control, the role police is playing, which is not acceptable, especially closing the council when there is acting chairman that should take over the council. This is unnecessary. There's no order forbidding them. But if you continue to do this and bring in the judiciary, bring in the police, this thing can lead to breakdown of law and order, and this thing can affect democracy. So call them to order. Let the constitutional democratic principle, run through. And I'm advising also both the CJM, the President of Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, especially Federal High Court of Abuja, stay away from this. In times of Federal High Court or Appeal Court, seen granting expert order left, right, and center to be favoring people whose seats have been declared vacant. The whole country is watching to see whether our judiciary is really independent or answerable to certain people, going by the judgment they will be delivering on this matter. Because all of us are watching it. So the only way out is to respect the rule of law, is to respect constitutional governance, constitutional democracy. If your tenure has finished, your tenure has finished. Stop manipulating people. Allow the governor to deliver on his promise to Rivers people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikenga, for joining us on the show. The Rivers State, of course, everybody hopes, all Nigerians hopes that this can be put to, can be nip in the bud, where the people of Rivers State can actually enjoy the dividends of democracy. Now let's move to NDLA, chairman of the National